the content calendar. And the second one is just some sort of sheet that's tracking like each concept that's launched. You have those two sheets, you have two editors, you have a VA that helps with the media buying. That's enough to get to 1 million a month, honestly.
Recently launched a supplement brand. We scaled up pretty quick. We went up to 30K a day. I think our top was 35.
How much revenue have you guys done up until this point? So tell me a little bit about how e-com's going for you, what's happening in the business. Like, just talk to me a little bit.
Yeah, so recently launched a supplement brand. Actually never
Mhm.
did supplements before Brandify. Heard you
Mhm.
guys mention a bit, so I was like, let's try it out. Launched it, I believe, in February. So it's been a few months. We scaled up pretty quick. Like it was like kind of around like 2K days. And then we had a couple ads that like popped off. We went up to 30K a day. I think our top was 35. But I've been getting a lot of like ups and downs because we had ad account issues. We had a page go down. So now we're cruising around like I think 10 to 15K days and looking to just get like another couple winning ads that are going to be able to help us like scale to 50K days and beyond.
How much revenue have you guys done up until this point?
Think like 500.
500? Yeah. And is that all with ripped content or is that a mix of like ripped content, custom content,
Like the actual content is ripped, but
edit, right?
we use like AI voiceovers, editing, etc.
Yeah. Yeah. So you need to start getting some custom content coming in right now. That's the big thing for you. Joint Brands is going to be your best friend. I don't know if you guys started on there yet, but jointbrands.com, that place is that's the best of what we've seen right now. Twitter as well using X. But custom content needs to be just as much custom content as possible because what's happening is like your creatives are fatiguing fat they're going to start fatiguing faster because you're not using your own content. So when you start to get your own content, you can still do the same style of creative, but a lot of the B-roll, a lot of the content is going to be your own content that you have that no one else does. That's how you start to like stretch out the success.
Is Joint Brands like the same as Incense? We just got on Incense and sent out a lot
Incense
of
is
product.
cool. Yeah, Incense is cool, but I prefer Joint Brands. And again, we don't have any affiliations with like any of these guys, but it's just what we've seen the most success with. I'll put it in our
Gotcha.
chat right now.
Do you do like products?
Yeah, so here you send out the product to the creator. You create like a little brief. So the main thing right now, like you're getting into the custom content game, which is like a new vehicle in the business. Obviously, as you know, the thing about this business is you have to wear a lot of hats at the same time.
Yeah.
So now you're gonna have to start wearing like the custom content hat. That is a really annoying part of the business, but it's not as hard as people make it. So you need a brief, right? The whole business is brief. So the question a lot of people have is like, do you use a script? Do you just let the creator do what they want? Like, what do you do to get the custom content, to get the best custom content? It's always going to be a brief. So you want a brief that includes like some of the top UGC for your product. So that might not even be your UGC, just the UGC that is like popping on TikTok. So maybe 2 to 3 of those videos, and then under the brief, like the top benefits of the product. And very important under that, you want to include somewhere that says like, make it seem like an authentic testimonial, make it authentic, try and be yourself. Don't try and sound scripted. Like, just make sure it's very known that they need to be authentic. And I would say that's really helpful. Keep it simple. I've made the mistake in the past to where our new we call it's called a gifted collab technically. So our gifted collab briefs are just like super intensive of like this is the angle that works. This is the way you need to say it. This is the tone you need to say it in. Make sure you film it in a bathroom. Make sure you do it like this lighting. Like we really tried to like perfect it, and that doesn't work. You keep it simple. It should be one page, and like not like full pages. Like obviously like just the links at the top and like a little stuff under it, and that's it. You start sending out product and you want to start sending out a lot of product. The only KPI that matters when you're doing like custom content is how many samples do you send out a day, right? So if you're sending out like 5 to 7 samples a day, you know you're doing well, right? If you, I know you probably have VAs. I don't know if you have VAs yet, but if you have a VA, that's the
Yeah.
KPI you need to have them send you every day. Like, okay, sir, we sent out 5 samples today. We sent 7, right? Whatever it is. You send samples first and you talk later. I think that's a mistake that I talked about this on other calls too. It's like most people try when it comes to custom content, they try the perfection route, which is just fucking retarded, right? You want to send out because you don't lose that much. Let's say you send a sample out, they don't make the content or the content comes bad. So what? You lost what, a couple bucks? Like you're selling supplements anyways,
Yeah.
Nutra. So you want to get same thing with Twitter, right? You get the address, you send out the sample. You send out a shit ton of samples. You make sure the VA is tracking all the samples on like a Notion or a Google Sheet, whatever it is. So you know how many people have the product and when they're getting it. And then once they have the product, then you can start, asking them for their content. the thing about joint brands, they make it really easy to where you can just easily like put out like a job posting there and then people can like apply for it and you send out the product. But same thing with like Twitter, it's not that hard. Just send out samples first, talk later. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I think we've sent out like 30 so far,
That's
but
not
like we
bad.
just
Yeah.
just started recently. So I
Yeah,
haven't
30 is
gotten
not
any of the
bad.
content back yet.
Yeah, 30 is not bad. Do you guys have any sort of US inventory yet?
No, but I had like my supplier ship me like 50 units. So I for like good creators, I'll just go to the store and like ship them so they get it quicker.
Yeah, that's fair. I was gonna say, I mean, are you using the supplier we gave you or a different one?
I'm using one that Abraham gave me. It's not like I don't know if it's
Is
one
it
of the
best fulfilled?
main ones.
Is it
No.
no? Okay, so the reason why we recommend best fulfill is they might not have the best cogs off the bat. When it comes to scaling, though, they have the best systems, bro. So if you maybe your supplier can do this as well. I know Adrian, we give a couple out, but best fulfill is our favorite. But okay, just ask the supplier. A lot of these suppliers have 3PLs in the USA already. So if those 50 samples, you can just tell them, hey, these are for influencers. You don't need to ship out the product yourself. You can just tell them send it to the 3PL, and when you want them to ship it out, you let them know like, hey, okay, ship it out to this address and whatnot. You don't need to touch the product at all, bro. You really don't.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just went with the other one because I think yeah, Best Fulfills was like a decent amount more expensive.
They have a little higher cogs, but yeah, so you're in the game of custom content now. Offer testing will be pretty important after you cross 1 million in sales, but right now, just like content, keep pushing content. Right now, I will say this too, it is a little bit rocky in the neutral space online, just with like BMs and stuff. Ad accounts are getting clipped. It's a little bit of a bad economy right now for that, but still like it's easy to make money. It's not like the end of the world. What other
Yeah.
things are you guys like not struggling with, but like working on in the business?
I feel like I could improve a bit. So when I first started doing like e-com, et cetera, or I guess before the program, I was very big on like systems and systemizing, and I realized that it was really slowing me down. So I joined the program, and I was like, "Fuck it!" I'm like, screw all the systems and just move quick. And that worked, and now we got to like a decent scale. But I feel like now I have like a lot of little things eating away my time. So I'm trying to like
Mhm.
get the smaller systems built and also like kind of get some team members to help so I could like focus on, I guess, the biggest things that are going to move the needle, like creatives, etc. Um,
Mhm.
Started hiring for a strategist, and that's been like a pretty tough role to like
It
find
is.
the right person for.
Yeah,
Um,
it really is. I mean, to be honest, you guys, we don't get a strategist until like 3 million in revenue, 2 to 3 million in revenue, but you can get one earlier. Like right now, you need editors, right? So, I
yeah,
mean, you have editors, I'm assuming, or
yeah, I've one full time.
yeah, like I would say, depending on what style of content is working for you guys, if it's very strategist dependent, that's fine. But what a strategist is all they're gonna do for you right now is besides the custom content stuff, which you should honestly take on yourself when you're starting out so you can get familiar with it, they're just going to help with the ideation and the scripting, right?
Yeah,
But the task that takes the most time is the actual editing and like making sure that's good. So you might benefit more from having two full-time editors doing all the editing and taking care of that. And then you're coming up with the scripts and the ideation, then having to go through the process of hiring a creative strategist because hiring a creative strategist takes a lot of time. It does take a lot of time because there's a reality that happens a lot where you hire them and they come up with the scripts and the ideation and then it's just bad and then you have to fire them and you have to go through the whole process of hiring again, right? Usually, when we hire a creative strategist, they're working alongside what we're currently doing and we're comparing it to our current results, right? So when we hire a creative strategist, we usually hire them part time and we tell them, okay, you're going to be working part time. We want you to come up with like this amount of scripts a day and to give to the editor, have them edit and have them launch it. So they're launching their stuff that they're doing. And then we're still doing what we were doing beforehand. So we're doing our own scripts and our own concepts. And we see if their stuff holds up with us, if not overdoes us, right? So that's something that makes more sense when you've done over 1 million in revenue. You get what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah. You might want to just
okay,
focus on editors. Yeah. In terms of like the organization and the system side of it, you really only need two. It's all creative. It's all creative, right? The fulfillment and shit
yeah,
like come on, so that's pretty automated. When it comes to the creative side of things, there's really only two main sheets we look at. The first one is going to be the content calendar. So you have some sort of content calendar on Notion. It's all on Notion. That like it's like a calendar, and it's like whenever you launch a campaign, it's put on the content calendar. So you can look at the content calendar and see like how many campaigns are going up every day, what the campaigns are, and it just keeps things really organized there, right? That's the first one. And the second one is just some sort of sheet that's tracking like each concept that's launched, whatever it's an edited concept, whatever it's like a custom concept. If it's a concept that's launched, it just it shows it on a sheet. Those are really the two only things you need.
Okay, got it.
But you have those two things. You have those two sheets. You have two editors. You have a BA that helps with the media buying. That's enough to get to 1 million a month, honestly.
Yeah. I was just seeing where I could kind of, because most of my time has been going to like scripting and ideation. Um,
Yeah.
so I was just seeing where I could kind of buy back my time a bit so I could also try like AOV, boosting AOV, etc.
How much time is scripting in that taking of your day?
Like I usually spent like the first like I guess like half. I would be spending more. I just have other things that I need to do too.
Got you. So would you like if we broke it down to like an hour count, we saying maybe 4 hours a day, 3 to 4 hours a day?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
4, 5 sometimes. Yeah.
It should take less, honestly. Like let's say walk me through a day in the office for you. Like you come into office, you have like four scripts, you're coming up with five scripts. Like walk me through the day, like start to finish.
So I'll usually do like first morning block is just like creatives. So it depends if I'm doing like iterations or like net new concepts. If I'm doing like iterations, then I'll like analyze a bunch of our old creatives that are doing well, um, and just like see what we can iterate upon it. I'll create like a list of like kind of iterations we can make, and then I'll actually go and like guess write the copy for them. If it's net new concepts and I do a lot of research, I'll like strategize or ideate a bit, like look at competitors, people in other niches, to get just ideas of like different types of content. Also ideate a bit and then write the copy. And then like the
Mhm.
second half of the day is just like anything that needs to get done, like responding to team, responding to editors, and then like other tasks that come up.
Yeah, so I would say off the bat, if your ideation should be delegated. Your ideation should always be delegated. That's the first thing you can delegate. So a really good editor can honestly handle the ideation. We've seen like editors that are half decent come in and do the ideation side of things where it's like, okay, this we tell them this creative is doing well, so they'll go ahead and they'll make visual ideations, so like visual variations of like different hooks, and then copy variations too, which is like the same thing with different copy a little bit. And because the copy isn't like completely unique, someone from the Philippines is able to do it pretty easily. So I would say getting another editor to help with the variation side of things might be really helpful. And also you got to mind you that you're going to start to have a lot more raw content coming in. So this second editor can help with the variations and they can help with like stitching and kind of launching the raw content because the raw content is not completely raw. Maybe they need to cut out a second here and there. So that second editor will focus more on that, and then your first editor is honestly doing what you're doing right now. And you're still going to be doing the coming up with the new concepts and all the new shit, right? I would definitely keep that on you until you get past 1 million in revenue.
Okay, so do you give the editors a lot of freedom where like they could kind of make their own concepts without you really like telling them exactly what to do?
We do a mix. We do a mix. So it depends on the editors. Some editors are just brain dead, right? And they can't do that. And
Yeah.
some editors, and for the brain dead editors, what we do is then we give them the variation work, and then we give them the raw UGC work, right? Because variations, it's not hard to do. It's pretty like they're not doing anything unique. They're just variating. And then with the raw UGC, again, like they just need to make sure it looks good before they launch it. So that's more so for a brain dead editor. And then like a decent editor should be able to, they're not going to come up with great stuff, but they should be able to come up with some stuff, right? So if you give them a script, they're visually putting the clips together and it looks good and it's not an issue. Or if you tell them like, hey, if you can, some editors we've been able to tell them like, hey, we want to do a script where it's like talking about this specific angle of the product, and they've kind of done the whole video for us, right? So it really depends on the editor. If you're feeling your editor is kind of brain dead, editors are easy, they're cheap to get. Just get a new one, keep your old one and just get a new one and test some stuff out with them. As like someone who like as a founder, you should just be testing new editors all the time, honestly.
No, say I've been with this guy for like a bit. I honestly haven't tested anyone new because he was working on like the other brand for a while. I think we've been working
Mhm.
together for like 10 months. Um,
Yeah.
so he's like decent, but he's not like amazing.
Yeah, like for honestly, bro, like if you get like you could just get people off Upwork, you can get people off of Twitter. You could just tell them like, hey, make a couple samples. I'll give you like, $200 and I'll make you a shit ton of samples. And you can test the
Yeah.
samples and see how they go. Right? Like this is the type of stuff that should be taking up more of your time. Having two good editors, honestly, bro, that's an army right there. Two good editors with a decent system behind it. One of them is doing this type of stuff, and one of them is doing that type of stuff. Is more powerful than a good creative strategist and more impactful and way cheaper. Yeah,
Okay.
having a creative
Awesome.
strategist makes more it makes more sense too when you have more custom content coming in because they're going to help a lot out with that. That's more so what they do.
Okay. Got it. We'll definitely start recruiting for a video editor.
100%. So, any questions that you had for me too, in specific, like what's going on with your business?
What are the main things that are gonna, I feel like primary issue has been consistency for us. Like we were able to scale up quickly. We had that sustained for a little bit and then we had a page go down, we got back up, we had an ad account go down, but we haven't been able to like cruise at like the 30K per day for like more than like a week. So like how to get that consistency and also like scale to next level and be able to like scale there, but also like stay there.
First of all, meta issues are something that's just like never going to go away. Obviously, sometimes they're more prominent. Like for like, there's been months before where I've just been shot down. BM at went down, ad account goes down, a couple pages go down, and that's just how that goes. One thing I could recommend for meta issues is, are you getting the meta assets from the guys we give you, the ecom plug guys?
I think I have a BM from them. I'm waiting for an ad account from Blink still. I've been waiting for like a month.
Uh,
I'm running on personal right now.
Okay, so the reason I ask this is those guys they have a service too called like monitoring. So you pay them like a decent amount, and not like $300 to $500 a month, and they'll get their profiles on all the assets and they'll monitor everything like every single day, make sure you're good. And then like sometimes like you need backup admin profiles, and they'll kind of deal with all the Facebook bullshit. So I always recommend that for someone who is like already seeing some success to like mitigate risk. Obviously, risk is always there, but you can mitigate it as a founder. When it comes to consistency, obviously with good creative output, it should be there, right? So there's really only three things that make up consistency for the store that you're running. The first one is going to be consistent creative output, and that's not just inclusive of variations. That's like inclusive of coming up with new stuff, right? Like every week you should have a new sort of concept start to work, right? Doesn't mean it needs to pop, but something that's showing promise. The second one is going to be seasonal sales. If you're not already doing seasonal sales, you should. It seems small to a lot of people, but it's honestly monumental. I've had stores at 2 to 300K, and then we do seasonal sale and we pop to 1 million a month, and now we're coasting around 1 million a month, right? Just because that seasonal sale put us in a situation where we outbid everybody. And the third one is going to be offer testing, right? So a big factor that we've honestly been doing more of this year, to be transparent with you. I haven't done it. I've obviously done it, but not as much as I have this year. Offer testing is mainly like, okay, what complementary product offers can we add to our initial offer? What stuff can we add to our initial offer? A good brand that does this is Infinity Hoop. So if you go to Infinity Hoop and you look at their landing page, you'll see that they have like a free sweat cream and a free sweat belt. That's a really good example of someone who understood what like a free complimentary product offer looks like. So every week you should at least be testing 2 to 3 new offers like this. Now, obviously, there's other stuff like upsells and shit like that, but like upsells are not going to keep you consistent. They're going to make you more money and they're going to put more money in your pocket, but they're not going to keep you consistent at 30K days. What's going to keep you consistent is the things I mentioned.
Okay, got it. And you launch offer tests by just like new campaign
You launch your offer
rather
test
than
just like how the same way I explain how to launch a seasonal sale is how you launch your offer test. So with the seasonal sale and offer test, what you do is a separate landing page. You take your top creatives and you change the CTA in the creative. So at the end of the creative, it says like free sweat creams, free whatever, and you launch it in those separate campaigns, like the 3 to 5 campaigns, and you see how it goes.
okay.
Any other questions? Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like miscellaneous. I mean, it's not like the biggest, it's not really a lever at all. But curious, because you're running multiple brands, like how do you finance wise, like separate everything? Do you just have like, do you have like a, I don't know, what's your system?
Yeah. So it's basically it's a holdings company, right? So it's a holdings company and each brand is a separate DBA that is a separate cards that are used for it, separate everything. So initially there's one like there's a holdings company, there's one main account. There's one lane cash balance account. And that's like the one that all the brands start with. But once a brand starts to develop a team and develops consistency and income, we'll open up a separate account, move as much cash as we can into that account, try separate cards, and try and focus just on that specific account for that brand, right? So it's all under one holdings company, and then each brand has separate P&Ls, separate everything, separate Slack, separate P&Ls. It's a completely separate operation.
Why do these? I've kind of gone a little back and forth before. On like you build all the skills to run like an e-commerce brand. Like it's an e-commerce brand. Like what we're doing. But why at this point are you like still kind of in the I guess drop shipping side of things rather than like R&D and like creating an original product and like bringing it to market?
It's honestly a great question, right? And it's not like we haven't done it. It doesn't hit as hard with cash flow, right? In terms of equity plays, it's better for equity, but in terms of equity plays, we're doing other stuff that, like, for example, for us, equity wise, like we have like telehealth businesses we're working on that does more so like it's ecom, but it's like we have like medical stuff that we're selling and shit. Now that's like the newer shit that I'm getting into now as somebody who's like, I'm not gonna say mastered like the drop shipping space, but I've done pretty well in it, right? So that's the type of stuff I'm exploring. But in terms of like, okay, let's come up with a brand out of thin air and come up with stuff out of thin air. I just have seen more success and I know the playbook way better of like, let's take something that's working, let's grow a brand out of that, let's outcompete people onto the market, let's add new products onto it, let's try and iterate those products. Like that route has just that playbook has just made me more money and it's just easier to navigate.
Okay, got it. Makes sense.